to Powerful Couple Journey, where we talk about immigration experiences. And for today's live video, we are going to talk about what are the implications of the new president to be by January when it comes to the immigration process with the J1 visa, J1 waiver, and all other visa applications that we wanted to pursue as a non immigrant like Filipinos. This context won't talk about any politics and stuff like that. It will just be on the matter of the immigration. Based on our J1 Waiver Helping Hands group through Facebook, we have a lot of discussions regarding the new policy that we'll be making. One of our Filipino friends gave us a hint, which comes from one of the group in the Facebook that says about 2,000, or let me rephrase that, about 200,000 Filipinos in the United States could face immigration issues if the president elect proceeds with his plan to crack down all undocumented foreigners. Now, undocumented foreigners, those are the ones that has to take caution. But if you came here in the US with legal papers, just like J1 visa, even though you have your 2-1-2-year rule, 2-year home residency requirement, just like what I have before, if you follow the law, if you follow the process, then you will be okay. We don't have to fear. But it's added here in an interview with the Newswatch Plus, the Philippine Embassy to the United States, Jose Manuel Romualdez acknowledged that while the figure remains small of the 200,000 Filipinos, in relation to the total number of Filipinos living and working in the United States of America, their immigration requirements should be fulfilled as soon as possible. See, immigration requirements should be fulfilled as soon as possible. What does that imply? The new president by January 2025 doesn't have to do with all of the legal things. He wants to be legal. So we should not fear. If we are processing our papers legally, hello for those who are watching. So we're talking about immigration process. Do not fear. If you got married to your US citizen spouse, you process your petition through Form I-130 and you have your Form I-485 in place with the work permit Form I-765. And if you are subject to the 212E rule home residency requirement, then submit your Form I-612 with your DS-3035. Then it's a waiting game. Make sure you have all the evidences. And they are so okay with this. Hello, hola, thank you for watching. So, we don't have to fear. As a matter of fact, a lot of Filipinos have voted for the newly elected president here in the United States of America because they wanted to show that they wanted everyone to be legal. They come here, even myself, I came here. I don't have the chance to vote yet because I just got my green card last year of November 2023, and it will have to take me 3 years at least to get my US citizenship. So they, Filipinos that I know of, have voted for the newly elected president in the United States of America because they wanted to show as well that they want us to get legal, have legal papers, have legal documents, do not overstay your visa, and do the work that is asked for you or from you. So that's it. I have a lot of J1 Waiver Helping Hands group teachers in Facebook. They agreed to group rules, so I accepted them immediately. We created not just that group to share ideas for J1 waiver, but of course, we also have some ideas about J1 to F1 visa or student visa. We have J1 who have your US citizen child, J1 who got married to their US citizen spouse, J1 who wanted to get NIW or EB3. They have J1 that has wanted to submit persecution waiver, J1 who will submit asylum. So we have discussions there. We are not attorneys, we are not immigration lawyers, but this is a community service that we wanted to show that there is somebody that could hear you. There is a group through J1 Waiver Helping Hands group on Facebook that's wanting to share ideas. I started the group myself as the admin because I wanted to give my ideas on how I did it through do it yourself process. I processed our petition with my husband through DIY, the adjustment of status through DIY, the waiver through DIY, and all other forms through do it yourself. You see, you don't need an immigration lawyer to be honest, but there are a lot of jargons that the immigration lawyer could teach you, could help you, could put in your papers. You might it might seem so simple, but it takes 2 years to process from day 1 of submission till the day you'll get your green card. So that is a very long wait for you. If you feel like you wanted to get your immigration lawyer, we have Filipino friends in our group, J1 Waiver Helping Hands, that are sharing their ideas and sharing who are their reliable immigration lawyers that they wanted to do. But if you are compelled to do it yourself, just like what I did, and I can show you the templates I have, you can avail it through powerfulcouplejourney.com and you could see checklists, you could see the cover letters, statement of reasons, letters from friends and family, psychological evaluation, letter from the doctor, letter from coworkers, and all other forms that is needed for you to create your very compelling reason. And those templates have helped us when it comes to filing our waiver. So for those who are watching here, please let your friends know if they are wanting to do the route of J1 waiver, then we are going to tell you to please let them agree to group rules. That way I could accept them immediately. They don't even have to answer all of the other questions there. Just let them do the group rules because we wanted to stay the harmony of our group, and that is respecting others, respecting our views. Again, we are not immigration lawyers in J1 River Happiness Group, but we are people in the community wanting to serve and wanting to give our ideas because we don't know, you can connect to them. I have even J1 friends, or we call them family already, that once they know that this person has the same situation as them, they will say, can I private message you or can I direct message you? So that is a connection right there. So we are sharing our ideas, and we know that there are already green card holders from being a J1 teacher with 212E rule, now a green card holder sharing their ideas as well. So if you have a very complicated case, yes, get a lawyer. But if it's very simple, just like what I have, my husband is single prior to getting married, I am single prior to getting married, and we have a very straightforward case, then the powerfulcouplejourney.com templates could really help you create. We could help you step by step if you wanted to work with us and share our ideas to you, because this is a community of people that wanting to give ideas, and this is a channel, Powerful Couple Journey, where we share immigration process, especially with J1 teachers, J1 visa, and J1 visa holders. So for those who are watching, yes, shout out to you. Did I say it right? Brody Live videos. Thank you for watching. Thank you so much. And I am so thankful that you are here and you are great. You're wonderful. Thank you for being here. Now, for those that have fear about the newly elect president, set that aside and think straight. Do not fear if you have legal papers. But if you say, What if I don't want to teach anymore? What if I'm tired of teaching? I have anxiety in teaching. What should I do? Then, first things first is you have to breathe and you have to think, do I have grounds for waiver? Especially if you are subject to the 212E rule, 2-year home residency requirement, where you are imposed to go back to your home country. Think about this. If you got married to your US citizen spouse, it's not an immunity. Do not overstay. But if you got married to a US citizen spouse, you have a chance to get petition, you have a chance to get your waiver, and you have a chance to adjust your status from J1 to green card holder, just like what I did. So we are so thankful if we do the process legally. So what you're gonna do is just set aside the fear, continue teaching, and continue with your visa sponsor. When if I could recall my experience, I don't want to teach on my third year anymore as a J1 teacher. I just have anxiety, I just have depression. I just wear a smile every day. But there's like something in my heart that says, this is too much for me. I can't handle it. And I always rely on saying, oh, I have an American husband. I can do that. No. But I set that aside because the moment I read the process on how to do the adjustment of status, I said, wow, this is not that easy. We need to make sure that I'll be on status while preparing my papers. So, what I did was, I talked to my spouse, I talked to my American husband, William, and we were able to have a plan. We submitted our Form I-130 first, then we submitted the Form I-612, which is the waiver, then the adjustment of status I-485, then we also have the Form I-765, which is the work permit. Why do we need a work permit even though we have our J1 visa sponsor? The reason for that is we wanted to remain on status. Yes, we'll be on status if you are in your J1 visa sponsor, but you wanted to get out of teaching, just like what I have. That's the feeling I have. So I make sure that while being on status with my visa sponsor, I need to be having a foundation, which is the work permit, because the work permit in 2021 has or effective within the 2 years that you process your papers. Because the USCIS understands that while you are processing your adjustment of status, you need to work. You need to supply for your needs, especially here in the US where inflation is very high, and that's what they consider. Even though USCIS is not your friend, even the Department of State is not your friend, but they consider the fact that, hey, these people needs to work. They need to sustain their lives and they need to process their papers. That's why we're going to give them a Form I-765 work permit while they adjust their status. It's a waiting game. It's 2 years. So what you're gonna do based on my experience, again, disclaimer, I am not an immigration lawyer, but I'm here to help and sharing ideas like helping the community. So make sure you are on status, make sure that you have all the legal papers, and if you wanted to get out from your visa sponsor, make sure you have your work permit already and you have an approved Form I-130. That's what I did. Then my visa sponsor asked me, well, Emery, can you show us through an email if you have an approved waiver? I told them I already have an approved work permit, an approved Form I-130 petition. That's the one I have, but I said my process for the waiver is still pending, but it's already case on hold. What they said in the email is congratulations on your new endeavor here in the US. And they don't fret about it and they don't do anything because they know that I'm processing the papers legally. Not unless you're gonna say, I'm done, I don't want to teach anymore. Then they're gonna cut you off with the Department of State, and guess what? Department of State knows that you're gonna be submitting the DS-3035. And once they know that you have overstayed, and then the new president now has been working on his mass migration with the illegal document people that came here in the US, you don't want to get affected. So if I were you, stay legal, do not overstay, and follow the process of the USCIS and the Department of State. That way, when you go through the process of submitting your papers, adjusting your status from J1 to green card, you don't have any problems along the way. And come to think of it, I even have one J1 teacher friend that she said there's one very rare situation where her J1 friend submitted the adjustment of status without the waiver and got approved with the green card. It might happen, very rare, but you know what? The moment that person, because green card has 2 years provision, provisionary, and then 10-year green card, which is non-conditional. If that person would like to go to getting his or her US citizenship, then that will be a problem because we have a visa stamp about 212E rule. That's the rule. We have to go back for 2 years, serve our country, and show the culture and cultural activities that we have and what we learn here in the US to give it and share it to our fellow countrymen, the Filipino students. And that's the purpose of J1. That's why one of the visa sponsor, which I have to name here, EPI, they really wanted to have this document that says you are going to be extended with your 2 years from having 3 years, a total of five, if you will agree to our condition. The first, you don't have to marry an American. Second, you don't have to file a waiver. Well, some of the J1 teachers are forced to say, yes, I'll agree. Well, here is the thing. They cannot hinder you from marrying a US citizen. They cannot hinder your emotions. They cannot stop you from doing that. But then they wanted to maintain the integrity of the visa sponsor or visa J1 visa teacher exchange cultural program. That's why they're so strict with that policy because it's going to be on them. They have been in the process as a visa sponsor for a very long time. But we outsmart the system and we know that there's a loophole and we know there's a process, which is the J1 waiver. That's why most of the J1 teachers I know of with J1 waiver helping hands group, they really are looking for ways to extend their stay here in the US. But the easiest way to get a J1 waiver is if you got married and you're blessed to get married to your US citizen spouse. And that is part of the process. After that, you still have evidences to submit, most especially with your waiver. And the most important thing there is how you state your reasons, how you show your love story, how you show the evidences. That way, the USCIS or the case handler would say they have sufficient evidences they submitted, and then they just have to do a case on hold with your Form I-612, waiting for a favorable recommendation with your DS-3035, and then they put two and two together. After I got a favorable recommendation last August 1, 2023, then after 2 weeks, I got an approval with my Form I-612. Then by November, I believe 26, 2023, I got my green card. So it's just a matter of August, September, October, November, 3 months. Why? Because I already submitted my papers. I already had it on the process. Unlike some lawyers, they would say, oh, do not submit your petition yet. Oh, submit your DS-3035 first, enter your Form I-612. It depends on the strategy that you have. My strategy is to submit everything on my third year. I never told my visa sponsor that I am on the process of submitting my waiver. They don't have to know. Your DS 2019, once they extend that one, still is in your maiden name. And don't worry about it. As long as you have your papers with your marriage license and you change your last name to your married name, just like me, I used to be Emmary Torada, now I'm Emmary Powell. Have your papers like here in Florida, you can change your driver's license to your married name as long as you have an extended DS 2019 and you have your mailing address and then you have your marriage license. Then bring your passport. That's all they need to see. I know some of them doesn't know the process yet, but once they see it in the system that you're still legal, they can change that. Then you can also change your SSN or your social security number from being a maiden name to your last name. And it happened. It is very easy here in Central Florida. I hope it's easy as well in your state. So do not fear with the new policy that will be held in January 2025. Put this in mind, as long as you are legal, you do not overstay, you do the process, and your papers are pending, then you're good. You're good to go. Just follow the steps. A lot of Filipinos have fear because they overstay. We call it TNT, tago ng tago. We don't want to do that. So please be a good example and please follow the rules because that's the law here in the US. And we wanted to also remain being good citizens here. And that's our means to help our family back home. I know the US is my second home, Philippines is my first home, but altogether I respect both countries. Just like what we're gonna do. Stay legal, don't be afraid to process your papers. If you wanted to have a one-on-one session with us, then please go to powerfulcouplejourney.com and we will talk about when is the time to talk about this. Sit down and we're gonna do a Zoom meeting sharing ideas. Or you can go directly to J1 Waiver Helping Hands group. That way we could share our ideas there. You can ask anonymously, just agree to group rules, and I will accept you immediately. If you are inviting your friends, yes, give them the invite of the link, but please let them know to answer at least the group rules. That way we could continue the harmony of the group. Shout out for Brody Live Videos for watching this live video. I always do live video at 2 in the afternoon when it comes to on the weekends, like Sunday. And then I also do Tuesday evening at 7. Then I am always posting a long form video every Friday at 2 p.m. And that will be my routine because, again, this is a community service that I am sharing my ideas to you. Sharing is caring. That's what I learned when I was still teaching in kindergarten here in Central Florida. And this is my way of sharing as well as a teacher or to a Filipino or to anyone who is watching this video. Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, Powerful Couple Journey. That way we could share our ideas and become a blessing to others. Thank you so much and see you on my next live video. God bless.